Hey everyone, welcome back to the On the Rise podcast. It is episode 6, and I'm here with a very special guest today. It is Black Summer. He is a 15-year-old Australian producer from a viral video called Meet Black Summer, Australia's youngest producer, and it was premiered on Triple J's channel. It garnered like 1 million views, and he's been performing all over the place, and his very first gig was at Groovin in Australia, where he played in front of thousands. And he's been consistently just putting out so much great music and just growing his musical career. So, Reese, how's it going?
Good, thanks. Yeah, been great.
Awesome. So usually I start off by, just talking about the producer's background and when they were younger, how like they got into music. But since you're so young, like, I don't know, it's different talking about this stuff. But
it's more like a year or two ago.
Oh yeah, exactly. I mean, some of the producers that I talk to are in their 20s, so it's accurate to talk about, when they're 10 or 11. But for you, it's really recently. But what kind of role did music play in your early life?
Well, yeah, music was pretty much something that I was always, interested in. I didn't start taking it seriously until I put my music up on Triple J, because I kind of just started listening to electronic music, because I accidentally flicked on it to a channel like MTV. I accidentally went onto MTV, and I heard some electronic music, and I'd never heard it before. So I was like, oh, this is really cool. So I started listening to it more, and from there it just kind of got to the point where I just was like, hey, you know what? Why don't I try making some? And it didn't start off very good, but I just kept going at it, and yeah, over time I just got better at it, and I just kept practicing, and yeah.
Awesome. And did you start at 11?
Actually, I started at 10. I don't say this much in interviews because it's all about the Triple J part, but I actually started when I was 10, and I only decided to put my music up when I was 11, which happened to be the time they were doing interviews on upcoming artists in Australia, in rural areas like Canberra. So.
Oh wow. And how did this whole thing with Triple J happen? Like the whole video?
Yeah, so that they just hit me up because when I put my music up, I had my birthday on it, and it was 2003, and they couldn't believe it. So they called me, and they called my dad, because I didn't have a phone when I was 11. But they called my dad, and they're like, "Is your kid Black Summer putting that music up?" And my dad's like, "Oh yeah," because he's a big fan of Triple J, and he suggested it, and we just put it up for fun. But yeah, it just blew up. But it kind of went from that, and they're like, "Hey, can we do an interview of you?" Because they thought it would be a really cool story to do. So I remember they came to my school during the day to film me in class. And everybody was like, "What the heck is going on?" Because I was the kid who was really not the popular one. I wasn't the person that would always be, there's popular kids in school. Yeah. I wasn't one of them, so it was even bigger surprise. So.
And did you become a popular kid after that?
Yeah.
Yes,
everybody wouldn't stop talking about it. At first no one had any idea because I didn't talk about it. It just kind of just popped up out of nowhere. But yeah.
Man, that's crazy. I wish I had that when I was still in school. Just as someone following me around with a camera, filming everything I do. But when the video came out, it went absolutely viral. 1 million hits. It was everywhere. I remember seeing it about I think 2 years ago. Just after a year after the video was released, and I saw it, and it was absolutely crazy. And it honestly made me feel bad because I think I was 16 at the time, and I was like, man, there's 11-year-old producers better than me. They're they're gonna become all famous. I don't have time, but anyways, but yeah, it garnered so much views. How did you react to that whole, the booming of the viral video?
Well, I think I'm still kind of sinking it in because I haven't really freaked out yet. But my parents have been really. My parents are still can't believe it. They're just blown away by how well it's gone. We just put it up, for fun. Just to just put it up as just me putting music up to show people, and it's just took off, and like I can't believe it. And I don't blame people for I get a lot of hate, and I don't blame people for hating me, because if you saw like an 11-year-old kid getting interviewed and all that stuff, and you've been working at it for years, like you'd be annoyed. But then there's, if I was them, I'd support, and I have a lot of support from a lot of, I wouldn't call them fans, but I guess they are. But like, I don't like to call people fans. I like to call them kind of like, not friends, but if you know what I mean, like followers.
Yeah, followers, just people who listen to your music and appreciate it and stuff. Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Fans are a bit something different. When I think of fans, I think of like just them screaming at a concert and just going absolutely nuts. But just the whole thing is like super crazy. But as you were saying, the whole thing with the hate, there was kind of a mixed response to that whole video. Like, how did you deal with all that, at such a young age even?
Well, yeah, my parents at first, they didn't really let me see the comments or anything, because they didn't want me to like get upset, but I really didn't care. Like, in my opinion, like, any attention is good attention, you know what I mean? Like, if you're doing something right, like if you're doing something you love and you're getting hate, obviously you're doing something right.
That's a good sign.
Because if you were like, no one would care, if you weren't good, you know what I mean? So
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, if someone is hating on you for no reason because you didn't do anything to them, but when they hate on you for the success that you're getting, you're doing something right.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And I think right after that video dropped, another video came out that got, I think, around almost 700,000 views, which was you playing at Groovin the Moo. How did that whole thing go down?
Oh, well, yeah, that's a funny story. It was actually kind of a bit of a last-minute surprise appearance kind of thing. So, yeah, you probably haven't heard of her, but she was this lady called Zan Rose. She used to be a presenter on Triple J, and she's moved to Double J now, which is a different radio station. But yeah, she was talking to I can't remember her name, but she was talking to the lead of Groove in the Moo on a bus or something, and she was like, "Hey, have you heard of that 11-year-old kid, who's just going crazy lately?" And she's like, "Oh, yeah." And yeah, she was like, "Oh, why don't we get him up on stage for a little surprise gig?" Wow. And it was only supposed to be one song, but yeah, it turned out to be like 3 or 4.
Oh, and
because she was just like, "Oh, just keep going." The crowd was going nuts. There was like 10,000 people there, and like, I've never done a gig before then. I just did a 2-hour lesson of CDJs before I did that, because I didn't know how to use them. So
10,000 people, that's nuts.
Yeah, so I just kind of rocked up on stage with like 2 hours worth of lessons, and just played some of my music. And yeah, I'm glad it went well. And like, my dad said to me that after this gig, you're either gonna love it or you're gonna hate it. And if you love it, you're gonna pursue it, and you're just gonna keep going. But if you don't, that's fine.
Yeah,
we'll find something else. And yeah, I came off loving it. And I just kept doing gigs and stuff, and I've done gigs in clubs in Sydney, and I'm going a bit off track from the gig in Groove in the Moo, but yeah. And then I did it again a few years later, so that was cool.
Well, I mean, as you said, you love it, but how was that? How would you describe the feeling that you have when you're up on stage in front of, so many people? What does that feel in the moment?
Well, before, it's actually terrifying. Before, you kind of go through this thing. Well, I don't know if everyone does who performs, but I kind of go through this thing before I perform where I'm like, I don't want to go up. I just want to go home and play video games and sit in my room. But like, once you get up there and you like see all the people who have been like waiting there to see you, like at your gigs, and and like screaming when you get up, it's like, you're like, this is what I want to do. It's what I feel like I'm supposed to do.
No, that's amazing, man. 10,000 people, and for a first gig, that's crazy. And so right now you're using the CDJs, right?
Yeah. I'm using the newest model. It's the Nexus. I can't remember the name.
The 2000?
It's the one with the touchscreen in the middle. That's the mixer I'm using.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah, I can't. I'm having a mental blank, but yeah, it's the newest model. And yeah, my dad actually 26,000 is it?
Wow.
2,000. Yeah, 2,000. My dad's shouting.
26,000.
My dad's shouting across the room, and I misheard him.
The
But
2000s.
yeah.
Yeah. How are those like when you're playing on them? Solid gear?
Oh yeah, it's great. Yeah, it's really good. They're at first they're a little bit complicated to get your head around, but like once you've understood what everything does, you don't even need to use everything on it, you know. So it's they're hard to use, but they're not that hard. They're like it's kind of like painting, I guess. Like once you learn how to paint, you know, it's hard to do, but it's still like yeah, you know what I mean. It's you understand it, yeah.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. No, that's awesome. So basically, like the video that brought you up to the surface and gave you all this exposure came out 3 years ago. What has like the past 3 years looked like for you?
Well, yeah, it's had its ups and downs. You know, it's been really hectic, and it's been really just sitting in the studio and writing. You know, so it's not like up and down, bad and good, but like you know, like up and down, like busy and calm. You know, so like yeah, last year I was in America twice. So wait, no, I went to America late last year, and then I went again early this year to film Sadness and do some writing in the studio. So yeah, right now it's just writing, but it's been a bit weird. I'm still learning stuff, so
Of course.
I'm still
yeah.
getting used to the process and everything. And my producer Tech, he's really a mentor to me, you know, like he's taught me so much, and yeah, he's still teaching me stuff now that I didn't even know existed, you know. So
Yeah.
like yeah, it's been a really good learning experience. Like I'm loving it.
And while you were out in LA, like, did you meet any other like bigger producers or DJs?
Not really. It was more of just like in the studio working with Chloe, which on Sadness, yeah. But we had some people from some companies like come over and for like it wasn't a party, it was like just a hangout and stuff. So that was cool. And I went to CAA. I went to the CAA, and that was really cool. Creative artist agency. Creative artist.
CA or something.
Yeah, I was about to say industry, but yeah, I went there and yeah, met a lot of good people, and yeah, like I talked to Justin Bieber's agent, or old agent, I think.
Wow.
So that was pretty crazy, and he was like talking about like he was like, oh, if you're willing to work with us and blah blah blah, we can do blah this and that, and I won't go into details, but yeah, it was pretty surreal. Like I was like, oh my god, I'm sitting in an office and in freaking Hollywood talking to this guy who's worked with the biggest in the world. Like,
Yeah.
you know, in a couple years, I've gotten here. So
Man, that's amazing. And was it Justin Bieber's manager, or it was not manager or agent? I can't remember, but it was. Do you know Scooter Braun?
yeah.
Yeah, was that Scooter Braun by any chance?
No. It wasn't Scooter. It was his old agent. So I think it was like for booking gigs and stuff. I'm not sure if he still works with him, but yeah, he's worked with Justin Bieber, and like I can't remember all the names, but he's worked with like a lot of the big names.
He's worked
in
with Martin Garrix.
Yeah, he probably has. Like, I'm not really sure, but like we had a quick chat with him, so that was cool. Yeah.
And that was all in LA, right?
Yeah, that was in LA.
Yeah. How do you like LA?
Oh man, I want to live there. Like, it's just I've been to like San Francisco and New Zealand and the UK, and like they all feel a bit foreign to me, like, you know. But LA definitely, it just feels so livable there. But it's like you'd expect it to be really like crowded and busy, but it's really open and stuff, and it's just it's great. And it's like the heart of the music industry, you know what I mean? Like it's Hollywood and everything. So like, I don't know, one day if I ever get rich, I'd definitely move there.
Wow,
and get an apartment.
That's interesting, man, because I've had the exact same, like, everything how you describe LA, like I described it the exact same. It just feels really open.
Yeah.
It's interesting. It's something to do with the sky and all that stuff, but it's definitely
Yeah.
like the creative
Exactly.
hub.
Yeah.
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 I I would definitely move to LA as well. Like LA and Amsterdam seem to be like the hubs for dance music, and something about it is just super livable there. So yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. I know what
the
you mean.
dream for
Yeah.
us one day. Hopefully in the future we can meet up in LA. That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah. Hell yeah. Yeah.
Calling it out on the podcast. But yeah, have you had any like bigger support from bigger DJs? I know there's a bunch of DJs from Australia, like Peking Duck is from there, if you know them.
Yeah. 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 I
Uh,
know. Yeah.
have you had any like bigger support from like bigger touring artists and stuff like that?
Oh, definitely. Like, yeah, DJ Snake messaged me on Twitter. He follows me and everything.
Wow.
He's really supporting to me. And I met Dillon Francis backstage this year, and I got his email and everything. We had a chat, so that was cool. And we tried to go backstage, but we couldn't. We had to have a special Dillon Francis pass to watch him from side of stage, so that sucks.
What?
But yeah, I know. But yeah, I met him backstage and we chatted, and it was really cool. It's just cool to meet these names that you see on TV and stuff all the time. And you see them in real life, you're like, whoa, it's so weird.
No, absolutely. Yeah, it totally is like that. And then you kind of get used to it once you meet more and more, and then people really have like a stigma built around it that they think like these people aren't human, and then they realize that they're just like everyone else, and they're just doing what they love and making music.
Yeah, and like that I realized that like when I first went to Groovin the Moon, like I met like Wolf Mother and ASAP Ferg, and like before I was so nervous, because I looked at music producers and stuff as like gods in a way, these people that you're not gonna meet, you idolize these people you're never gonna meet, and when you actually do meet them, you just kind of realize that they're just normal guys that just like to make music, and it's great. Well, a lot of them, most of them, but yeah, they're just normal people, and it's cool to realize that, because then when you meet other people, you don't feel so awkward, because everybody starts, well, nearly everybody starts from the very bottom, and then they work their way up to the highest parts. So yeah, it's cool. Yeah.
And do you have any like DJ idols that you look up to?
Oh yeah, definitely. Flume, Skrillex. I could go on. This guy called Misogi. I really want to meet him. I've been mentioning him in like every interview I've done, because I just want to meet this guy so bad. But
who is it?
His name's Misogi. He's like a trap kind of producer. He also produces for other people. But like, yeah, he's a bit obscure, but yeah, he makes really cool music, and yeah, I've been listening to his music for a long time. So.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Is he signed to Monster Cat by any chance?
I'm not 100% sure if he's signed at all, but it's spelled Misogi, and yeah, he makes some. Yeah, look him up. He makes some really cool music, and yeah, he's one of my main idols, because I just think his whole vibe and image is really cool,
No, that's super awesome. So let's get to one of your recent tracks that you just released a couple months ago. It's Sadness with Chloe Campbell. How did that collaboration go down? Because I saw the music video and heard the track, and it's really, really good. And the music video to pair up with that is really cinematic and awesome. Like, how did that entire thing come together?
Well, yeah, we're looking for another singer for the next single, and we had Lowell write the song for Sadness, and we were looking for someone to sing on it. So he showed me Chloe and said, hey, check out this singer, she's really cool. So I looked her up, and I listened to some of her songs and some videos on Instagram, and yeah, I was like, yeah, this is really cool. I thought she was really cool. I still do, but yeah, I think she's really cool. And yeah, I messaged her, and Tech messaged her, and then yeah, she got into contact with me, and I was like, hey, do you wanna make a song together? And she was like, hell yeah, let's do it. So we met up in LA and in Tech studio, and we recorded the vocals, and yeah, we went out for lunch, got to know each other. It's really cool, because like when I work with people, like I want to know them,
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, and yeah, yeah, we worked on the track, we worked on the vocals, and I took the vocals back and built a song around it pretty much.
Hmm.
And yeah, I sent the first version to Tech, and Tech would be like, "Nah, man, don't put that sound in. Maybe change the vocals." And I'll be like, all right," and I'll do that, and most of the time change other things as well.
Hmm.
Send it back, show it to Chloe, and she might be like, "Hey, can you add this in?" And I'll be like, "Yep," and just over time, trial and error, changing the track and building it up into what you hear. So.
Hmm. Where'd you get the inspiration for the track, and what's the meaning behind like sadness, I guess?
Oh, okay. Yeah. So the inspiration behind the track. I don't really remember a song that I listened to that made me go, "I want to make a song like that and make it sadness." But
Hmm.
I feel like it's mainly the vocals I built around, and I felt this kind of vibe around it. It was more of a chilled vibe, and I didn't want to make a big drop for it like I did with my previous single, because every track, I want to do something different. I don't want people to think I pigeonhole myself to one type of genre.
Hmm. Hmm.
So yeah, I kind of just built around the vocals, and yeah, I haven't. This is the first time I'm gonna say it, but before I actually made a previous version of it, and it was with Lol's voice because we didn't have a singer at the time, and I kind of made this big like vocal chop and drop and everything, but I don't know, like I just wanted to kind of go for something more chilled.
Hmm.
But yeah, that's pretty. I don't have a direct like inspiration for it, but
Hmm.
yeah, definitely something. I don't know.
Yeah, no, totally. Some producers, they can go out into the park and get inspiration for a whole track. Others can just sit down and just bust out an entire track in like 2 hours. There's everyone's
Yeah.
different. Yeah. Which DAW do you use to produce your tracks?
Yeah, I use Ableton. I used to use FL, but I use Ableton now. Yeah.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
I made Young Like Me on FL, but I made Sadness on Ableton. And you can probably hear a bit of a difference, but yeah,
Hmm.
like
Hmm.
I changed basically because I use Mac, and FL's
Oh,
for
okay.
Windows. Had to
Yeah.
use an emulator, and at the time the Mac version wasn't ready, so I was just like, you know what, I'm just gonna switch, just try
Hmm.
something new, see if I like it.
Hmm. And how's it been
Yeah.
so far? Do you like it? More
Oh,
than FL?
well, I reckon it's more of a matter of like what kind of layout you prefer. I definitely like synths and effects on FL a lot more than Ableton, and I like things on Ableton a lot more than FL. It's kind
Hmm.
of just like personal preference. But
Yeah.
yeah, I'm really enjoying Ableton. I had a 2-hour lesson on it so to get my head around it, and I'm just teaching myself now because I was 100% self-taught on FL Studio.
Wow.
Kind of just messed around until I came up with stuff. I had a few piano lessons and started making
That's
stuff.
impressive, man. That's
Yeah.
inspiration, man. Just kind of leaning away from all the technical stuff. What kind of music do you listen to in your off time, like when you're not producing?
I listen to a lot of jazz, a lot of hip hop, a lot of dubstep too. I've
Ooh.
kind of gone a lot more from like electronic to hip hop and jazz
Hmm.
lately, but yeah, I still listen to a lot of electronic. But yeah, I've started making different types of beats because I don't know, like I'm always like changing what I listen to, and
Hmm.
like I have these kinds of phases of like genres that I like.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Do you listen to lo-fi music by any chance?
Oh yeah, I love lo-fi. I actually made a beat yesterday, a lo-fi
Ooh.
beat yesterday. Yeah, I love lo-fi. Yeah.
Yeah, lo-fi is interesting. Lo-fi is kind of like on the rise again. It's it's an interesting genre. It's like they take rap music and like slow it down, I'm pretty sure, and then put like a jazzy sort of mellow beat over it. It's yeah, a
Yeah,
lot
and
of
then
my
just
friends listen.
distort it and everything, like put like vinyl crackle and stuff and
Yeah, exactly. Who,
all
who
that
would
kind of stuff. Yeah.
who would think that would actually be popular? Because like from I don't know how many years ago, people all people wanted to do was take away that crackle, make it as crisp as possible, and now it's kind of going kind of like reverse, like where everyone's trying to distort and kind of like destroy the sound. in a way.
Yeah. You'll
Yeah.
hear with a lot of rap tracks that they actually have pretty distorted basses in it, and
Oh.
you'd think at first, like a lot of I like listening to a lot of XXX Tentacion, and
Yeah.
his basses in his tracks, he's like hardcore tracks,
Yeah.
he started going more to lo-fi towards the end of his career, but
Yeah.
his early tracks were like really distorted, and like I heard it at first, and I was like, I didn't hate it and I didn't like it either. I was like
Hmm.
confused. Like I was like, what am I supposed to like think of this? But like I started listening to it more, and then it got picked up, and then everyone starts doing it. It's kind of like with Flume's genre. Like everyone went through a time where everyone was just copying that
Oh man.
rhythm and stuff.
Definitely, I
Even me.
definitely know that. Yeah, there's kind of, I don't want to call it a bandwagon, but it seems like a lot of the big room DJs, that's what they did. They switched at some point and started to do like future bass stuff. Um,
Yeah.
completely. I know like a whole bunch like rehab and were you big into the in the big room scene when it was popular?
Yeah, I was more into like bass house and trap and future bass.
Hmm.
I'm proud to say that I was listening to future bass before everyone else was.
Oh.
But yeah, I mainly listen to like trap music and a lot of bass house because I really like, because before electronic music I used to just listen to heavy metal and rock,
Oh wow.
and a bit of pop as well from my mum, but
Mhm.
yeah, it was mainly heavy metal and stuff that I listened to with my dad, like Tool and Soundgarden and stuff like that, and when I heard dubstep, it was kind of like an electronic version of it. So
Mhm.
I listen to like, mainly the trap kind of stuff, like the slower kind of beats, but
Mhm.
I do make a lot of house and yeah.
Awesome. So what would be your favorite track at the moment right now
That I've made or that I'm listening
that you're
to.
listening to?
Okay. Is this isn't live, is it?
It is no, it's not live.
Okay, because I'm gonna search it up because I forgot the name.
No
Hold on.
worries. What kind of
It
genre is it?
it's dubstep. And I heard it yesterday, and it's by this guy called Monix, I think, Monixx.
Monix.
But he did this, yeah.
Oh.
He did this track. Yeah, here we go. It's called "Falling" by Monks. So Monxx, and yeah, it's really really cool. Like I can't stop listening to it. It's really really neat. Yeah.
Is it on UKF?
Probably. I heard it on Dubstep Gutter, but
Uh-huh.
yeah, it's called Falling, and it's like I'm more into like the weird drops, like weird percussion and weird plucks and stuff with hard basses on it, like hearing this stuff that makes you go, what the heck, when you hear it. But
Uh-huh.
like,
Who would
yeah,
some of
it's
those producers be? Like Getter? I'm not
oh,
really.
definitely.
Yeah, Getter. Yeah.
Some of Getter's songs, yeah, definitely weird. I mean, a lot of his music is he's actually kind of changing to heavy metal lately, but
Yeah. What do you think of that?
I'm all for it. Like, do what you want. You know what I mean? Like, I like his trap stuff. I really do. I want to hear more of it. But like, if he wants to make heavy metal, like, don't let the fans tell you otherwise. Like, it's cool seeing people try new stuff
Mm-hmm. No,
because
definitely.
that's how trends are created. Someone tries something new. You know what I mean? And
Yeah, that's a really good point, actually.
yeah.
Huh. So one of the leading up to like the end of the podcast. So, DJ Mag is coming up. Who are your top 5 producers that you're voting for, or are you even voting for anyone this year?
Well, I've never actually voted on DJ Mag, but I've seen it before. Can I vote for anybody?
I mean, I think so. You can just type in any producer, and just and vote for them.
Well, I wouldn't vote for myself, but I'd probably go like probably the people who are like that I'm listening to a lot lately, like Skrillex. I definitely vote for Skrillex. Probably vote for him every year. But yeah, Skrillex. I did vote for Hermitude in one DJ Mag, I think. But yeah, I'd probably go with Skrillex, Flume. I might actually vote for Monks. Or I'm probably pronouncing his name wrong. If you're listening, I'm sorry, but yeah. I'd probably vote for those guys. Probably a lot of the lesser known, even though they probably won't make it through. I like listening to like upcoming stuff, but
Mhm.
yeah, probably like I might actually vote for the Prodigy. I used to love Prodigy.
Ooh, the Prodigy. Yeah, interesting.
Yeah, they were
Very
cool.
interesting. Yeah, you're not really listening to mainstream stuff, which is kind of like, surprising because a lot of younger kids they're like Marshmello, um, and Marshmello, literally only
Yeah,
Marshmello listening, and more I guess like, how would you call them, like, old school DJs? They're more listening to like Tag House and all this underground stuff.
yeah, like
So
Tiesto and stuff.
yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
So yeah, it's really interesting to see uh, to see you listening to all this underground stuff, even some
yeah,
stuff
and
that I don't even know.
yeah. There's the reason I listen to it is not just because it's good, but you kind of notice that there's not really much pressure of because I reckon a lot of mainstream artists would get a lot of pressure to do this certain style, make this certain sound, and they probably have labels that are telling them like you don't do something that obscure, you know what I mean? Because
Hmm.
it's not something that people are used to, and I think it's just kind of cool. It's kind of I mean it's both ways. It's kind of a breath of fresh air, like if I listen to too much underground stuff, I'll listen to mainstream, you know what I mean? Because
Hmm.
I just want to I just want to like hear something new, and it's cool. It's just cool because that's like how Flume started. He made something really weird, and I don't know, like I like the whole vibe around it. It's really cool to like, it's really cool feeling to like listen to someone that not many people know about. You know what I mean?
Hmm. Hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's interesting because it seems like Flume is like a big inspiration, or like a big part of what you listen and feed off of. Yeah. Have you ever seen
yeah.
him live?
I haven't seen him live, but I want to.
You
I
have
definitely
to.
would want to. Yeah,
I saw him once and it was one of the best stage designs, and just like, just the music
yeah.
was amazing for him. Yeah, yeah, I
I've
definitely
seen
recommend it.
Yeah, I've seen like he actually uses like live drum pads and stuff and
Hmm. Hmm.
things like that. Yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah, the
I'd love
intros
to
are
see him live.
amazing.
Yeah,
When
yeah,
he has the curtain drop at the beginning. Oh man,
yeah. I've
chills.
actually watched his gigs on YouTube, and they're like, there's such a big lead up to his drops and stuff, and it's so like cinematic,
Right?
with all the
Yeah.
light, with the light shows and like the way he's like moving, like it's so weird, but yeah, it's cool.
Elegant.
Like,
Yeah, really
yeah,
elegant.
elegant. Yeah,
Oh
it's
man.
cool.
Yeah, well, I definitely, man, you have to see him. I definitely hope you get the chance to, see him one day.
Yeah, I'd love to. Yeah.
So, final question. What does the next 5 years look like for you? Or the next two, three? What are your
Cool.
goals for the future?
Well, yeah, my main goal would probably be to just hope that I'm still doing what I'm doing, and like even if I'm just surviving, I want to be able to make a living off like what I do,
Mm-hmm.
because like I reckon that if the job, if you're doing a job and you love it, then it's not really a job, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I just want to I just hope that I can do this as a career, in the future. Like I feel like I probably will, because like I'm working as hard as I can, to try and keep not just stay relevant, but also to like keep learning more, and yeah, just be better at what I do. But in the next 5 years, I'd love to like not just be making music, but also to be like producing for other people, because that'd be really cool to like.
Mm.
I'd like to see the behind the scenes, of all these tracks you hear on TV and on the radio.
Mm-hmm.
So, and also I might branch off, and if I get enough money, I want to branch off into video game development, because that's another passion I do. I
Wow.
do a lot of coding, so
What?
I make
Wow.
I code video games and stuff. So I'd love to like be able to do that as well. Like somehow incorporate that into my future. I don't know.
That's
It'd be cool. Yeah.
that's amazing. Man.
Yeah.
It's wow, it's inspiring and like amazing how you figured out all this at like, such a young age, and you still have so much more time to figure, everything out
Yeah.
even more. Wow, that's amazing. Well, it was amazing talking with you and just getting to know everything, and getting to know all these interesting things about everything in the career, and what the future holds for you. But yeah, thank you so much for coming on the podcast.
Yeah, thanks for having me. It was good.
And
Yeah,
where can
great
people
fun.
find you if they want to go look at your music and stuff?
Yeah, you guys can find me on Instagram. My Instagram is EDM Black Summer, one word, and you can just search up Black Summer on Facebook, SoundCloud, Twitter. Yeah, pretty much any social media and music sharing platform I'm most likely on. So, yeah.
Sweet. So yeah, guys, thank you guys so much for listening to the On the Raz podcast. This was episode 6 with Black Summer. You guys should definitely go check him out. He's releasing so much new music. His production is getting better with every single track, and he has a really big future ahead of him. So yeah, definitely make sure to check him out and like, subscribe, and repost, share this podcast. I'll be releasing a whole bunch of new episodes really, really soon with a whole bunch of other producers. But yeah, thank you guys so much for listening. Peace.